Samantha Siu, New York. That's her jewelry line. And we kind of actually met on Instagram, right?
Yeah, that's where we first met.
We just started following each other on Instagram and chatting. And then it was so funny. We went to an event at Flying Solo a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And she came to me and she's like, Allie? And I'm like, hello?
Kind of stuff.
Am I a celebrity? So we connected, and today we're going to talk about her jewelry line and how she got into it and how she started and all that good stuff. And then we're going to go out and about. We're going to see some of Samantha's favorite places to eat and shop. It's a beautiful day in New York, albeit a little bit hot, but anyway. So we're going to get started. So can you just tell us how you got into the jewelry business? I mean, I know that your family was involved in jewelry.
Yeah, that's how I first started. Around 12, 13 years old, my family started a jewelry manufacturing business.
Oh wow, sometimes I work for a jewelry manufacturer.
Yeah. How was that? Like, how were you part of it?
I do like administration, and then I'm going to be working on, the wife started her own line, so I'm going to be working on her Shopify site.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have like, that's the thing about private business.
Yes.
Your hands are in all buckets.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
And that's how I started. And but I started from the very, very bottom of packaging bracelets or earrings.
When you say packaging, were you designing packaging,
or
I
was just putting
the stuff in the, shipping it. Like
exactly.
Shipping, yeah.
I was putting jewelry in Ziplocs, ready to ship to our vendors or ready to ship to our factories, anything. And so my family, my aunts particularly, they started the business. They would give me 1 cent a pop. And so every jewelry that I packed, I would get 1 cent. And
oh my God.
And so, but that trains me.
But still, it trains you to work hard.
Yeah.
And to know the value of money.
Yeah. It trains me to, and that's how I bought my first jewelry as well, like with my own hard-earned money. And,
oh wow, very nice.
And that's why I wanted to work with them, because every day I would try to put the jewelry in the packages as fast as I can, and to get like a bracelet I wanted from the line or something like that, and that was my motive. And then as I got older, I kind of transitioned into sales.
Oh, okay.
When it came to like going to trade shows and
going to trade shows.
Yeah, I like 16, and really getting sort of the outside point of view of how business worked, how business was negotiated, and how jewelry was picked up.
Yeah, that's important to know.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
What people were looking for too.
What people were looking for, and how to interact with people. It was definitely eye-opening, but I was very nervous at that point because I knew I was younger than everyone else, and I always felt like I had imposter syndrome. And so, but it was a wonderful learning experience looking back, and
that's a great learning experience.
It was. It really was. Yeah.
I think today sometimes kids are kind of coddled.
Yeah, it's true.
Not really, their parents don't really prepare them in some ways. They're a little too coddled.
Yeah, I think coming from being first generation, that really allowed me to see how hard my parents worked, and they wanted to instill that work ethic. Yes, thank you.
Sorry,
it kind of like the work ethic into my way of life, and to really see things from a younger point of view was great, because I was sort of analyzing all actions all aspects without being judged, because I was just a kid.
Yeah, so exactly. That's smart. Yeah.
So I allowed myself to make mistakes, but at the same time I tried to be really cool and kind of try to fit in and be one of the adults at the same time. But now I look back as, wow, like that was an incredible learning experience that I don't think a lot of kids do have today.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
And did you go to school for that? Did you follow through with going to school for design, or?
Well, partly. My undergrad was at Fordham for psychology.
Okay, something very different.
It was
a lot, yeah.
It was very different because I wanted to stray away from the family business, and I wanted to create something along my own path. But during college, I was asked back into the family business, and I was like, okay, because I wanted to make money, and I didn't really take school seriously as much, and that was a mistake.
Making money is a big motivator.
Yeah, it was a big motivator, but it was a mistake, and because I didn't really care about school. I had to refocus, but once I refocused, I realized, let me finish school first and then go into the family business. That I sort of aligned my values, like education is important. And after college, that's when I started working with my family.
And then you started doing that full time?
Yeah, then I did that full time, and my aunt told me, she said, if you want more experience, you really need to get out of the family. You really need to go outside of the business, work for other businesses, and then if you want to come back, then at least you gather more information and have, just much more, a bigger network, a bigger social network, and come back and be able to elevate the family business if you wanted to. And so I did, and I became a merchandiser, and that's when I became a merchandiser.
And how did you become a merchandiser? You didn't have schooling in that, correct?
Yeah, well, I have to say I was very privileged through family connections.
Oh, okay.
And so I interviewed, but I had to interview. I interviewed, and I worked with a manufacturer that was aligned with my family's business. My family would create the jewelry that they designed. And so with being a merchandiser, I had the design experience and being able to work with buyers and being able to design jewelry lines for department stores. So that was a very essential part of my growth.
Is that what merchandising entails? You design the jewelry?
Yeah, we design the jewelry. We actually sell the designs to department stores.
Okay.
They pick whichever design they like, and then they sell it as their own line.
Okay.
And we did that for.
Now, was that with your family's company or the other company?
The other company,
Okay.
the merchandising company.
Okay.
And then my family's company, they would make the jewelry that they designed, and so during this time, that's when I went to jewelry design school.
Oh, okay.
And so I was working and doing jewelry design school at the same time. It was treacherous. It was.
Yeah, that's a lot. I did the same when I was in design school.
It was so.
It
wasn't for me.
School, it's intense.
It was really intense. I couldn't sleep. I had to go stay at lab until 1 a.m.
My God, wow.
and then go to work the next morning. Like, I didn't have enough sleep. I would secretly sleep in the showroom and no one would know, but then they started to put security cameras in there, and my secret space was
your secret space.
Yeah. And but it was really hard, and it was the best learning experience jewelry wise for me, because I saw how jewelry was designed and created or fabricated. And even though I had experience going to my family's factories, it's different when you get to do it yourself.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
And that's when I discovered my love for wax carving. I took this amazing wax carving class.
Wow, wax carving, what's that?
It's basically how jewelry is made.
Oh, really?
The traditional way of making jewelry. They carve waxes, like sculpt wax before they make a mold.
Melted?
Yes,
Yeah,
and then they make a mold, and then from silver or gold.
Yes. So then the vendors we work with make molds for. We don't design our own jewelry, but they make molds for the findings. Like the company I work for makes the findings.
Yeah.
All the different closures.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes we have to send them a mold, or they have to make a mold for a particular.
Oh,
closure.
okay. Yeah. So basically, they would actually make. They would buy the findings actually, but they would make the other parts of it.
Right, the other parts, yeah.
And they would, so we would partner with each other.
Yes, like you technically be one of our the company that I work for, you'd be buying the findings.
Exactly. And so my family's company does that, whereas the merchandising side, we just designed, we just priced, and we just sourced the gems and such. And with wax carving, I really embodied and appreciated the whole process.
That's
because
interesting.
Because it's really like, it takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of artistic talent to be able to see things in 3D form and then creating it.
It's like people who sculpt. I have a friend who
sculpts.
Yeah. I don't know how she does that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
working with computers. That's like whoa. But to me, I'm like, wow. Like, how do you have a block of clay and get that shape out of a block of clay?
Exactly.
I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, and it comes so easy to a lot of people.
Sometimes, some people, me
Yeah.
don't, not so much. I took a class, in high school, whatever, I took a sculpting class. I was like, I have a circle.
Yeah. But you have to
It's
try.
just terrible.
You have to try everything to see what fits
Yes, that's
you the
exactly
best.
right. Yeah.
And it was a wonderful opportunity because I tried and I realized this is what I'm really good at, and I wanted to fortify it and do more of it, and that's why that became the basis of what Samantha Siu does today, the business itself. And so when I did that wax carving class, and then I fabricated the first sample piece, like the first jewelry piece of the line.
Oh, wow.
I knew I wanted to continue this collection in some way, but I was working and it wasn't the right time. And so I kind of benched it after that. And I just continued to work until I wasn't happy anymore. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do next? And
I think all creatives, reach that point.
Yeah.
I find that you hear that story over and over again. Like,
Yeah.
They're creative, they get a design job, whether it's apparel or shoes or jewelry or any kind of a design, and they do it for someone else for a while, and then they get to that point where they're like, something's missing, they want to do it themselves.
And when you realize and you unlock the passion, like you realize, oh, I'm not happy until I kind of try it out.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like something that's pricking you. That's all. Like that's always there. I realized, and it was a wonderful experience. Like I realized when I was a merchandiser that even though I had such an amazing experience at this company, with even going to China, for like 3 months and sort of managing the sample factory there and getting to utilize my Chinese.
That's super cool.
It was it was very scary. But it was the first time I ever left.
And you on your own?
Yeah, on my own.
Wow,
yeah, but I was able to convince my company to bring my dog with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so
that helps.
Yeah, it really. She really made it a lot better, and but sadly she passed this year.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. She was really special, but and even though I had such an incredible experience, I knew that my time there was coming to an end and that I needed to be more challenged. And so I wanted to become a buyer. I wanted to see the other side of things, kind of gather all aspects, right? From contracting to retail. But I went to one of my mentors, and she was a product developer at La Mer, and she gave me one of the best advice of my life. And she said, if you really want to start your own line, if that's what you want to do, don't wait, just do it now and take some brand management classes. And so
that was good advice.
It was really great advice, and so I did. And I met amazing people at FIT, which...
Were they freestanding classes?
They have a brand management program.
Oh, entire program.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a certificate class.
They know they have a lot of certificate classes there. Yeah.
And it was just like a nice like generalization of basically allowing you to see through a different perspective of branding and really help develop the core business model for.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting program.
It was.
I took a few classes on there. It wasn't. I could have done a certificate, but I did a couple of independent classes.
Every chance that you get to learn is a wonderful opportunity.
It is.
Yeah. And I've always believed that. Like, I didn't believe that when I was in college, but after the fact, I believed it. I realized that, when you feel like you have an inkling that you might be good at something or you want to try it, just take a class. Why not? There's no harm, no foul learning.
And they're either at night and on the weekends too. They're supposed to work around people's schedules.
They do. They work. Those classes are actually all evening classes, and so you get to go to work and then go to class, and that's what I did. And it wasn't as hard as doing an actual program course.
They're not.
They're not as intensive. Yeah. And then when I took the brand management class, I created my first business proposal, and then I used it. and so I left my company, and then I started to build my business. But before I did that, one of the fundamental things about why I thought that it was perfect timing of building my company, it was when I fell in love.
Oh, wow.
And that is the basis of my whole brand, and that's why it's called The Love Affair. And
very
and
cool.
so in the back of my head, I knew I had the design and what I wanted to create, but I didn't have the inspiration. And once I fell in love for the first time, I realized this is what I wanted to create. This is the story that I wanted to tell. And through my ventures, through my travels, through what I loved seeing, I wanted to portray that in the jewelry line. And now we have a love affair.
Because I was going to say, my next question was going to be like, what inspires your designs?
Yeah. It's everything that I see.
I love the idea, like how you can turn it around. It can be stones on one side or gems on one side.
Yeah.
And then sculpted piece on the other side.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
The design actually came to me when I was in class for I think it was a fabrication class, and I was watching the Chanel No. 5 commercial with Nicole Kidman walking up the stairs.
Yeah, I think I know
and she had the No. 5 necklace kind of like turned around, and then she had this
on her back.
Yes, on her back.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, why isn't there any back jewelry?
Oh, very cool.
And I realized that there isn't any.
There's not really.
In the arena. And why? Everything is always designed in the front. Why aren't we designing things for the back? Because the back is such a central place for a woman.
It is.
And why aren't we elevating it?
I know, especially in days like today when it's very warm out, people will tend to wear things that are more open.
Yeah.
And they go to special events and galas. The
Yeah.
back is always often exposed.
Exactly. And there's just so many parts of a human's body that we haven't explored through jewelry, to be honest.
True.
To be honest with you. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female. It could be worn in such a more interesting way if we kind of change the viewpoint of how we thought about jewelry.
Yeah.
And the only way we can do it is if we just did it.
Do it, yeah.
And show it the world that we did it. Because when I was doing this, even my family didn't believe me that I could do it. And it was too hard. And so when I created my jewelry line, I didn't use my family's factories to do it. I actually went and outsourced. I did a sourcing trip, and I found a wonderful factory that I love and that understands the importance of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and has amazing workmanship. And there's a reason for everything. And
that's great that you found that.
Yeah.
And everything was kind of falling into place.
Yeah, everything was falling into place, and I think a lot of it is when you're building a company, you have to find partners that just align with you.
Yes, exactly.
And
align with your vision.
Align with your vision, align with the workmanship, the craftsmanship, the story behind it. When you have a partner that doesn't care about how difficult it is, we'll try. But if they say that they can't do it, you kind of work with each other to figure out a way how to do it. Jewelry has been around for centuries.
Centuries and centuries.
And you go into the museum and you see jewelry that that the Egyptians have worn, or that primitive people have worn, but
in ways that we haven't.
But ways we haven't, but yet we don't try that anymore. And so I think right now the industry is much more focused on, and it's changing a little bit, because I think there's a new wave of designers coming out now, but they were so focused on making bulk and mass production, and quick jewelry, using
everything,
technology and CAD, and just really caring about how much can you make per minute, or how much can you produce in a day.
Yeah, that's the name of the game today.
Yeah, that they kind of lose that creativity. They kind of lose the stamina of making brilliant jewelry, and I think
and unique pieces.
Pieces.
Yeah, not everybody has.
Exactly, but only like big fashion houses have the capability to do amazing jewelry. Why can't the upcoming designers also make incredible jewelry?
Exactly.
It's because of resources, to be honest.
Well, yeah, it's very expensive.
It's very expensive, and you have to know where to touch them and get them. Yeah,
it's good that you had that family background. You would know.
And I wanted to utilize it. There was
that's excellent.
There was this really great Oprah convention that I went to. It was Live the Life You Dream.
Oh, wow.
And
you went to the convention?
It was so good. Cool. Have you heard of it?
I think I heard of it, but just that you went to an Oprah convention, that's pretty cool.
She solidified also, like at that moment, because I believe that everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. Going to that convention solidified me leaving my stable job to create something that's unknown and to create something that is like unheard of at that time.
Yes.
And she said, well, for her, she's been a reporter for so long, since like she was a teenager, and to realize what her calling was, you really have to tap into your own history. What have you been doing for a very long period of your life? Mm-hmm. And if you're able to, if you're still doing it, that means that that's what you're meant to do, because you have that much experience in that arena, and you have the insights that a lot of people don't have. Yeah. So don't be afraid, basically, from what I gather, don't be afraid to learn from your past and to be able to say that I was here for a reason, and it was all predestined for me. It was aligned for me since I was a kid.
Oh, wow. That's what she was saying?
Yeah, because she was reflecting back on her own history of, like, I believe she was working in her newspaper when she was like in middle school.
So she was working in her newspaper?
Yeah, and so she was saying how she started at a really young age with journalism, and it really touched me, because I started at a really young age with jewelry.
Yeah, you did.
And I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, because when you have it be part of your life for so long, a lot of times you just want to run away from it.
Yeah.
And
yes, yeah.
And so
a lot of people are like, oh, I want to do what my family does.
Mm-hmm. And you just see too much of it.
Yeah, you get kind of burnt out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you realize, oh, it's honestly, it's really about, it's a difference about what you're meant to do and what your passion is. Mm-hmm. I have a very different passion than what defines what my family does.
Yeah.
I love to create jewelry that is kind of not seen, not popularized by the masses, and I wanted to somehow create a collective that really understands art. Mm-hmm. and the value of jewelry, the legacy of jewelry, and what the brand itself stands for.
No, because you're going to be, it will be left behind for who knows how long.
It's supposed to be a legacy piece.
Yeah, exactly, like a legacy piece. We hand it down.
Yeah. But now I'm thinking about, like, what's the purpose of a brand, right? Because wonderful jewelry is, you've seen everywhere, but wonderful messaging is not necessarily in the forefront of a lot of jewelry brands.
Yeah, brands in general.
And so that's why I really wanted to expose the fact of, like, what is happening in developing countries, and that's when I created my sister nonprofit, the Phoenix International Foundation, because.
And you started that foundation?
Yes.
Okay, when did you start that?
It started in 2016, and the reason why I started it was because it touched base with my true passion, and my true passion I discovered when I was about 18. I went on a missionary trip with my church, and to China, and we were teaching English to underprivileged children, and it was such a touching amazing moment about how privileged I am and how important it is for people who are privileged to give back. That I want.
It's true. So many don't. I feel like. I mean, every single person that was, privileged, and not just I'm thinking about like really wealthy people and celebrities. I mean, some do, but a lot of them, just in general, even people's names you don't know. I mean, I don't want to focus on celebrities, but just that everyone who was like pretty wealthy gave back, his world would be a different place.
I think if we just put more emphasis on it, and a lot of people, and I understand the what connects with people, right? I understand that luxurious things connect with people faster than people that are
sad stories.
Yes.
People don't like to hear them. That makes them feel uncomfortable or guilty.
Yeah. But at the same time, you can do both by just purchasing, your purchasing power.
Yes.
And so I wanted to create a company that when you purchase something, you know that you're going to do good. And I hope that you learn a little bit along the way. And so that's why all of our jewelry, 10% of the net profit goes to my sister nonprofit, where we are able to fund projects that go back into education enhancement, medical outreach, and animal conservation. People are becoming more educated now, and the pandemic really helped a lot.
Yeah, I think it did to a degree.
Because you were stuck at home and you wanted to gather as much information as you can through the web, and the web is what interconnects us in the most feasible way.
Yeah.
And so
that's true. Yeah.
And so people learn that, look, what I buy is not what I want to represent myself as, and I'm being ripped off by retail, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy what goes on.
Yeah, with fast fashion.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
And I love the fact that the word slow fashion is really coming back, and I love the fact that people really realize why having better pieces, well-made pieces that last longer is more important than clothing that you throw away every season.
There's also a vicious cycle, because some of the people buying fast fashion, people who could afford slow fashion.
Sure.
But also huge groups of people who buy fast fashion because that's all they can afford.
I mean, it's like a vicious habit too, right? Like that's what we're taught. When you're a teenager, what do you go to? Like, where do you go to? You go to mostly fashion places,
but there are some people that really that's all they can afford.
Right, and that's
just not. Yeah, they don't have. They have $100. They need to buy 3-4 pieces. They can't spend it on one piece.
Definitely.
Or half of one piece. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Some people, that's really not an option.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of a vicious cycle. You pay people low wages and then make them buy low quality goods, and it becomes like a vicious cycle.
But everything is a decision, like whatever clothing that you decide to discard, within every season, or if you do choose to discard, and you buy new. I'm not talking about people who are don't have the availability of funds, or growing kids that need to change clothing. I'm talking about people who have that buying intelligence, the buying intelligence of, I want to stay current, or I want to be able to wear whatever I want to wear, but for a cheap price, so I could get more.
Yes, there's definitely people out there that do that.
That's a different, I would say, much more like an emotional need.
Yes,
rather than
it's been stepping back from that. I know there's been a lot of backlash, like on YouTube. There's been a lot of backlash against like giant hauls.
Yes, exactly. And what is that for? I mean, look, I love fashion. I have a huge closet myself. I can't say that I don't, have big hauls whenever I have an opportunity, if there's a sale or whatnot.
Yeah, it is tempting.
It's so tempting because if you're a fashion lover, it's so tempting. But it's just about not discarding it and letting the pieces of clothing go into waste, and the moment that you don't want it to be able to recycle your clothing or give it away.
Yeah, give it away, or
Yeah.
try and sell it,
Or sell it.
do the whole rental thing.
Yeah,
like
recycle
rent
it
away and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's really changing the attitude of how we decide to buy our clothes.
Yeah, I distinctly remember my grandmother having these woven bags from like the 60s, and I was like, I remember when we were little, my sister and I would laugh at them, like, that's not a handbag, like the basket.
And now we look back and like, oh, she had some great style.
She did, I know.
And it's what connects us through memory as well.
Yes.
And it's like my grandmother's bag, and the times that we used to play around with it, or when you have something that you're able to treasure and sort of gather memories with that piece, it's much more sentimental than something that you discard after a season, because then you realize you're connected. You're connected through time. You're connected through memories, and
and it makes it more special.
Special. And so that's what I try to really share with making my jewelry, and that's why I wanted to create jewelry that was refined and very intricate and be able to withstand time. Now, I'm not saying like everything is perfect, right? But that's why with all my jewelry, if anything happens to the jewelry, you have insurance. It's covered.
Oh wow!
So that if you send it back to us, we will fix it for you.
Oh, that's excellent.
It tells you on the website, and it gives you like this insurance, like information and all that stuff. Great to know that, hey, if anything happens to your jewelry, we got your back, because we're not just a retailer. We care about you. We care about customers, and we care about what our customers do.
So you see future goals for Samantha Siu?
Oh, so we're creating an extended collection of my love affair, which is the matching bracelets.
Oh, it's so cool.
And it's just like the earrings, where you can take the links out, and it's size inclusive. So that's the part of, because every collection, whether the necklaces, the earrings, the bracelets, there's a story behind it. The necklaces, it was reversible, it was 360. Mm-hmm. We wanted you to be able to wear different designs based on how you feel. Mm-hmm. With the earrings, we want you to be able to adjust the earrings or adjust the style based on how you feel. Now with the bracelets, we want you to adjust the size based on how you want the necklace to be, either loose or tight or whatever.
Cool.
Because if you want
so clever and like creative.
Thank you. I feel like jewelry designers could be a bit more creative these days, because there's so many ways where we can kind of not change but influence customer behavior just through our design.
Yeah.
And with my jewelry, I'm hoping that when you buy my necklaces, or you buy my earrings, or you buy my bracelets, you don't always have to keep on buying, because you have that one pair, and then you can utilize it or change it the way you like to, and you just have that one pair for different occasions.
Oh, that's very cool.
And
so it is. It's just like, you have to keep, like you said, keep rebuying and keep consuming.
I mean, if you want to buy more,
I mean, it's fine, but you also can. It's nice that it's so versatile.
Yeah, you have that option. And also, we're going to be presenting at Coterie for the first time.
Oh wow!
And in this fall, and we're really excited about that. Will you come visit?
Yes, definitely.
Okay,
I've been invited to that a few times. I think for like coverage reasons.
Oh really?
I think so. Yeah, I've gotten emails before.
It's my first time, and I've heard really great things about it. A lot of people have said that I should really, like go and kind of explore the realm of like looking into other designers and as well as I think that's where a lot of people really gain exposure. Mm-hmm. Because
they do, yeah. I mean, it's known for a reason.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
I'm very excited about that.
That's it. And I'll leave all the information. The links below for everything for Samantha's socials and her website and any other information. It'll all be below. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a wonderful chat.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been excellent. I'm so glad we finally connected in person.
I know. It's all predestined.
I think so. I think Samantha really is.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go out and about, and we're going to see some of Samantha's favorite places to shop and eat. So that'll be really fun. And there may even be a part 2 at some point.
I would love that.
Yeah, definitely.
I have to show you my favorite places in Midtown. We're doing a downtown tour today. A mini tour.
Yeah. So
And
next time I'll be Midtown.
yes, that'd be great.
All right, that sounds great. So let's go. Let's do this. Now headed to Chinatown. Samantha's going to take us to her favorite place to eat. And then we're going to go to the shop with her great dress that she's got on here.
Thank you.
So let's head off now to the Uber. We're looking for the Uber.
The Tesla Model 3.
Tesla Model 3, okay. That's what we're looking for.
Yes.
Almost there.
Hi.
Hello. So we're on our way now. It's have those tasty noodles and we can have them. Yeah, well, look, it's a pretty nice day, so I'd like to have a day that we can do this.
Yeah.
It's a wee bit less humid than it's been. Like I feel like that's good.
I want to be
I
sweating.
feel like the other day it was so kind of hot, 86% humidity, and I just feel like now it's a little bit less.
Yeah.
So that's the next stop. You'll see us having prices. We're at the noodle place, and we're about to go in.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about this place.
So we are at Ying Chi Chong Fan, and it is on Bayard Street. Why I wanted to show Ali some nice rice noodle rolls is because it originated from Guangzhou, which is where my family's from. And I have wonderful memories here with my grandma, my mom, and so I wanted to show her a little bit of my cultural background.
Excellent. And we're both super hungry, so looking forward to having those noodles from South China. And you're saying it's family owned or no?
I'm not sure if this is family owned, but I know that it's the same brand as the one in Guangzhou.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we're on.
And peanut butter. So we're gonna drizzle it onto the rice noodles. This is a very classic dish. And put some sesame on top. It's gonna be so good.
Wow, how old is it? You know?
18. Hey Samantha, nice to meet you again. Nice to meet you again.
So my mission in life right now, I'm 68 years old and being involved with my daughter who's 33 and who's taken over the business now for 7 years. She's the business owner. She's our boss. And extended family have supported her through an effort to bring us into the 21st century. Website, online store, and social media. And pre-COVID, we had gatherings here, we had book signings, we had artist talks, we had workshops, we had panel discussions about where we see Chinatown, what direction we see Chinatown going. Because we give homage to the old guard of Chinatown, which is primarily male-dominated, patriarchal, and a lot of that had to do with the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. So all of Chinatown was made up of blue collar workers, male blue collar workers. And I grew up with a lot of adopted uncles, and I gave them, I raised a lot of respect to my elders, and they made this home for me in my early years. In my later years, when I was becoming a young man, I think it became very stark for those adopted uncles that me being American-born really contrasted with their being immigrants and coming from a homeland to a strange land, and me having the comfort of being an American in a very insular community and able to travel outside the community seamlessly, relatively seamlessly, and also my facility with the English language. So in my early young adulthood, my adopted uncles, they gave me a different sense of home, and they told me that I was not Chinese, and that, and that was shocking, and I felt like a betrayal because I was really claiming Chinatown, my Chinatown, as my community and my home. Walking down the middle of the street, my body was developing, feeling, immortal, as we do when we're young, right? Very virile the world is out oyster. But that really put a damper on my sense of identity. It really turned me upside down. Really were able to put a stake in the ground and say I belong. As a result.
You put roots in for you.
My father-in-law had a lot to do with that. And with that, my daughter had the inclination over 7 years ago to take over the helm, to be captain of the ship. So it was a struggle. It was a struggle for all of us because at that point in time, my mother-in-law and Aunt Betty, whose family started this business in 1890 and extended it beyond then, moved to this location, bought this property in 1925. They aged me. And, God bless them that we have had this.
I'm recently obsessed with this brand C. Look at this jacket.
Oh my God.
Look at the embroidery on it, the quiltedness of
Oh
it.
my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
That is just gorgeous. And your dress, which you got a compliment on.
Thank you.
And what you got here.
Thank you.
Here in, are we still officially in Chinatown?
Yes, I think we are because we're in Canal.
Yeah. So it's in Chinatown.
Look at this dress. Look at the embroidery on this dress. Wow. So beautiful.
It is. It's
Like
just
I
stunning.
love the intricate work that goes
Yes.
into it.
Yeah.
And we know that it's gonna
Wow.
stay, like it's worthwhile and it's going to last a long time. And you can, it's not like a one season piece.
No, especially something like that. I mean, that's just
No.
like such a classic.
Right.
That
Look
too.
at this jacket.
That jacket. Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. That is a stunner. This is just beautiful.
Oh yeah, I could totally see you wearing
That is just gorgeous.
It's so different.
It is.
Oh, look at this.
The embroidery is just on another level.
The embroidery. That's what's like
Yeah.
signature. So why did I get it?
Yeah. When you got it.
I I wanted to get something that was flattering because I honestly, for me, style is not like, it's really about the cutting. It's everyone can be stylish, and I feel like this cutting it fits my figure.
It does. It's very,
And
very
I don't
cute.
like to wear things that are like skin tight.
Me neither.
And so for me, I like a little bit of detail.
Yeah, detail.
And then like a little cinch in the waist. And then a
Sash
little bit
there.
of...
And the shoes, a fun shoe.
Oh, thank you. And
And
a
the
little back.
earrings. Oh, the back is so fun, yeah. Like a halter top, but it's one piece.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Exactly. And it's flowy at the same time. And what's key about having like flowy dress is the material in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't get...
That's right.
It's like not too heavy, and then when you get really bogged down. So that's really important.
It
so when I
is.
pick my clothing, I knew that this was going to be a summer dress, so I needed to really feel the fabric to see like, am I going to be comfortable in it? Is it something that I feel like if it's really hot, beating sun, that I will feel comfortable in it?
Like today.
Yeah, like today. Like, will I feel comfortable?
When you're a
Not
sweaty
sweat-
Betty, you feel
Oh,
good being a
sweaty
sweaty Betty.
You know, will I feel comfortable? And the answer is yes. This is beautiful. I'm kind of obsessed. Kind of
Kind of
See?
obsessed.
You see the balloon sleeves? Those
Yeah.
are my favorite.
Yes, they're so romantic.
Yes.
And comfortable.
And comfortable.
And flattering.
Yes. And look at the
So-
detail. Like, come on.
It's all three.
Like, I feel like this could fit so many, like, different body types.
It could, oh totally. Yeah, definitely
Right?
could.
And then you put a pop of color of my necklace on it.
Yeah. Yes, your
You're
necklace
set
would
to
look
go.
stunning.
Such a go.
Your necklace would be perfect.
And that's how I also pick my clothes.
So that is the end of our day. We just got out at sea. It is over now. Stay tuned for part 2. I think I'm going to be getting my ears pierced. So I'm signing off now. Hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.